If you have ever felt as if your hands were tied or your creativity was stifled when it came to being engaging in your classroom because you had to stick to this strict curriculum, then this tip is for you. Welcome to New Teacher Big Impact Tip of the Week. This is a live show where I'm giving you one tip this week where that you can take, apply into your classroom, and make change for the better. So, as I said, I know that a lot of us sometimes we have curriculum and we are told that we have to be or use the curriculum with fidelity. Right? Here's the curriculum. I expect to be on this page. I expect it to be at this moment. Right? It's funny because when it comes to curriculum and standards, there's like a couple of different ways to go about it. Either we're not given enough access, not given enough resources. People are saying, I don't have the curriculum that I need to support the standards. I'm just unpacking the standards on my own, right? I know there's some people in that camp, but then there's some people who they have a curriculum that the school is like, you have to use this curriculum. I expect to see everybody on this page. I expect to see everybody using it at the same time with fidelity, stick to the pacing. Like there's some people that are really devoted and go hard for the curriculum. And then there are definitely some schools that are somewhere in the middle where maybe we have a curriculum, but it's not enforced, or we have a curriculum, but nobody's checking to see if you use it. So there's definitely a wide spectrum of how curriculum relates to the way that we use it. But remember, the main part, don't forget this, the main part that we need to be focused on is making sure that we are teaching standard aligned standards aligned objectives. Even if there's curriculum, even if they are giving you resources, always make sure that it is aligned to the standards because ultimately that is what we need students to be able to do. But what I want to talk about today is for those teachers who are given a curriculum and are told like you have to stick to this thing. The reason why is because that those types of situations stifled me when I was a new teacher. So you know me as a former terrible teacher turned two-time teacher of the year. When I was a terrible teacher, it's because I was taking the curriculum and saying, this is what I'm supposed to spend 1.5 days on this lesson, and I will. I'm supposed to be on page 93 by the end of the week, and I'll do that. Students are supposed to be able to answer these 14 questions. That's when I was being sticking with the curriculum as if it was the Bible, or if it was the blueprint, as if it was the end all be all, instead of it being just a supplemental resource. When I was able to figure out how to align what I'm teaching to the standards and create objectives based off of the standards and assess students based off of those objectives, that's when the game changed for me. That's when student data started to improve and increase. And that's when I was able to transition from a terrible teacher to a two-time teacher of the year. Right. And as a matter of fact, one of the ways this one tip that I'm about to give you is going to completely change the game. But this one tip is taken from a complete course that is all about how to create lessons that actually lead to transformation, and that lives on the Impact platform. Impact is your comprehensive solution for your professional development needs that allows you to find courses, to find community, and to find coaching that's built on the 6 principles of effective instruction to help you become the teacher you've always wanted to be and make the impact you've always wanted to make. So more information about that linked down below. But let's get right to the tip. Here we go. The way I like to put it is like this. If you think about a restaurant, think about a restaurant that you like to go to, right? I'm going somewhere with this. Watch this. A restaurant that you like to go to. Maybe for you it's Chili's, maybe it's a mom and pop shop. I don't know why Chili's was the first thing that came to my mind. I haven't been to Chili's since I was like 10 years old. Maybe it's a mom and pop hole in the wall type restaurant. Maybe it's a ramen spot, right? Maybe it's whatever, what kind of food you like, right? But sometimes you go to a restaurant of a similar cuisine and they have similar menu items. Like for example, maybe if you go to Cracker Barrel, they have macaroni and cheese. But also if you go to Nana's Soul Food Kitchen, they have macaroni and cheese. But then also if you go to Noodles, Nothing But Noodles, they also have macaroni and cheese, right? So they have macaroni and cheese in all these different restaurant locations and all these different restaurants. But they all basically fundamentally have the same ingredients. It's macaroni and cheese. You have macaroni noodles, you got cheese. Right, of course, you have some milk, some butter. I chef it up a little bit. Get some milk, some butter, salt, pepper, a little. You know what I'm saying? But so they definitely have other components. But At its core, they basically have the same ingredients. But for some reason, the reason why Cracker Barrel macaroni and cheese doesn't taste like Nana's Soul Food Kitchen macaroni and cheese, doesn't taste like Nothing But Noodles macaroni and cheese, doesn't taste like Chick-fil-A's macaroni and cheese, is because although the ingredients are the same, the ways that the chef puts it together is with their own special flair. And I'm not here to debate who has the best macaroni and cheese, although you could comment down below if you let me know where in your town has the best macaroni and cheese, because I am kind of macaroni and cheese kind of sewer. But I'm not here to debate who has the best macaroni and cheese. I'm here to show you that you can use the same materials, right? But made it with your own flair in order to have a different outcome. All right. Now, Erica, don't lie to us now. Don't put yourself out there and say that you have the best macaroni and cheese. That's not something that we take lightly on this channel, right? If you really have the best macaroni and cheese, we need to put it to the test. But thank you for showing that up. We might have to have a macaroni and cheese off. Let us know if that's what you want to do. But what I'm saying is, although the ingredients and the materials are basically the same, depending on how the chef is going to put it together, that's going to have some sort of difference, right? So let's think about that as it relates to curriculum. And here's the tip of the day, the tip of the week. You can be given a curriculum. That's like giving the ingredients to macaroni and cheese. And maybe the other sixth grade ELA teachers on your hall are also given the same curriculum. But the way you do it is going to be different than the way the teacher across the hall does it. It's going to be the way the teacher down the hallway does it. It's going to be different than the other teachers because you are a different chef. And what I need you to understand is the way that we can still make our curriculum come alive with creativity is to infuse your special razzle dazzle. What I mean by that is there are definitely ways that you can take the curriculum and implement the curriculum with fidelity as if the as the administrators are asking us to do, while also adding your special flair. And here are some ways that you can add your special flair. The first thing that we can do is you can add your own unique hook at the beginning of the lesson. So if the lesson is scripted, or if it's given the curriculum and say we have to do this exact thing, you can give your own unique hook there at the beginning that entices students to be interested in the lesson. I like to look at curriculum as the foundation, well, not the foundation, the standards of the foundation. Curriculum is a resource, but you can compile some other resources as well. And if your school is saying, no, just stick with this curriculum with fidelity, you want to use any of the resources, you are the number one resource. As the teacher, you are the number one resource. Your experiences, your perspectives, your beliefs, you are the number one resource in your classroom. So how can you fuse that with your curriculum? By adding your creativity. So one way is that you can make sure that you add a hook there at the beginning, right? Definitely, Mitchell. You can add a hook there at the beginning, something that is unique to you. Throughout, even as you're going through that curriculum, even if it's scripted or even if it's, very strict and direct, you can then implement storytelling practices. So you can infuse some anecdotes, some stories from your personal life. And when I say personal, it doesn't necessarily mean things that you don't want people to know about. But for example, I remember I told a story this year. Actually, I was assistant principal, but we had a teacher quit. So I had to go and teach 8th grade math. And I was teaching them a lesson on slope. And I told them a story about how I was riding my scooter down a hill in New York, an electric scooter with my cousin. And we were going too fast for her. She was on the back of the scooter. I was on the front of the scooter. I was like, going down the hill. And as we were going down the hill, she got scared and she tried to run. We're on a scooter. So she started moving side to side on this 2-wheel electric scooter, flying down the hill as fast as we possibly could, probably going like 32 miles an hour. And in doing so, she shifted the weight, and then we both swerved down the hill. And then I ended up crashing that scooter. So I'm telling the students this story and they're all locked in. And I was like, why do you think we were going so fast? And they said, because the hill is steep. I said, yeah, the hill was steep. And we're going down a steep hill. Because we're going down a steep hill, it kept picking up speed. It made my cousin scared. We got in an accident. We crashed. We got in trouble when we got home because she scratched her pants. She got a hole in it. She got blood on her pants. So the students are really locked in at this point. And I said, so what is another word for the steepness of a hill? And it got silent. I said, I'm going to show you. Today, we're going to talk about how to find a slope. Take out a pencil. Y equals mx plus b. This is the point slope formula. Listen, when I say that they were locked in, they're like, oh, because in the book, in the curriculum, they gave some example about somebody snowboarding and I was like, well, I don't personally relate to that. I've been snowboarding one time and didn't go too well, So I was like, what is something I think my students would also be able to relate to? I just told a story, right? I told a story and it hooked them and they were ready to go. So storytelling is a great way. You can add, and that was a quick story. You can add quick, short, anecdotal stories to make them interested. When you get good at storytelling, which is not hard to do, and maybe I can do a whole nother lesson on that, but when you get good at storytelling, everybody likes a good story. And I'm not saying a long-winded story, I'm not saying a pointless story, I'm not saying a boring story, but when you get good at storytelling and you can tell an engaging, interesting, hooking story, sky's the limit, right? So a hook is a great idea to bring those curricular lessons to life, even if you have to remain loyal and faithful to a specific curriculum. Storytelling practices are fantastic. And then my last point, or my last tip that I want to share with you tonight, is you can also make sure that you integrate kinesthetic activities like games and things like that. And this is going to blow your mind, but it's also going to make you judge me. So like, please don't judge me. But what you can do is you can incorporate some games that students would like to play. Doesn't matter how old they are, young, middle school, high school, college, doesn't matter how old they are. Incorporate some games that allows you to still get the point across while it having some activity. So the reason why I said you're going to judge me is because one of the one of the things that I do with the students is play drinking games. But pause, because we're not drinking anything. And when I say about play drinking games, let me clarify so that you don't cancel me and stop watching. But on TikTok, you'll see that people have game nights or they'll do things, or they have drinking games or like red solo cups or whatever it is. And they'll do an activity, and when you win or lose, however it works, I don't know. I never played a drinking game in my life. Being honest, I wasn't. I didn't. I just didn't drink growing up. I drink now, but now I don't play games. I just drink. So but when I was back in the day, I never played drinking games. So with the drinking games, you can find the drinking games on TikTok. You can type in, you don't even have to type in drinking games. I was just kind of using that for a hook. But you can type in game night games or fun activities or things like that you can play. And even if it's a drinking game, you could just substitute like the drinking, right? With like questions from the lesson. So, prime example, this week I had to lead a professional development for my first time at my new school. And I found an activity. There's a game called Cups that we played at a family reunion. You put a cup on the ground, it's like head, shoulders, knees, and toes. You say head, shoulders, knees, head, shoulders, knees. And when you say cup, you grab the cup. First person that grabs the cup wins. Okay. So I had that activity. I said head, shoulders, knees, head, shoulders, head, shoulders. And I said cup. And they reached out and grabbed the cup. When they grabbed the cup, then they picked it up. And on the inside, there was a question. The person that grabbed the cup got to read the question. The person that didn't grab the cup had to answer it. You see what I'm saying? So in the curriculum, it might have said, give students these 12 questions, but you can still bring life and energy and creativity to it by incorporating some games and kinesthetic activities. So in that case, still was able to get through all the questions, but it wasn't just either putting the questions on the screen or giving them a worksheet of the 12 questions. I put the questions inside of cups and we played a cup activity. And there are so many more. So again, we're not drinking with students. It's not that's not what happened. I'm just saying sometimes they have like games that some people use for drinking games that you can use for fun activities. And if that's too close for comfort for you, you don't even have to look at drinking games. There's so many just different games that you can use as well. All right. The curriculum is a resource, Audrey. Absolutely, 100%. Right? The curriculum is a resource. Foundation is your standards. Curriculum is a resource, but you are the number one resource. How can you infuse the things that you love, the things that you enjoy into your lessons, even if you have to remain have fidelity when it comes to these different curriculum, right? So, all right, Mina, I know I'm saying don't tell him it's a drinking game. This is a private live. No, it's not private. This is public on YouTube. But I'm saying don't tell him where you got it from. Just say we're gonna play a game with these red cups. But again, for real, there are definitely other ones. If you do feel like it's going to be mistaken or associated with the drinking game, you don't even have to find those. I promise. If you look just for, you can say game night activities or fun games or games to play with teens, and there's so many that you can see that nobody will mistake for a drinking game. It's just sometimes you play it at game night on a Saturday night. Sometimes you play it in the classroom with these DOK3 level questions. So it is a-okay. So just looking at what we said, some people are frustrated at the fact that, man, I really want to do my own thing in the classroom. That was me as a new teacher. Really, I want to do my own thing. You guys are stifling me, saying I have to do the curriculum, teach this curriculum with fidelity. Some people are saying I don't have that issue. I wish I had a curriculum, right? At the end of the day, no matter where you are on that spectrum, the foundation is going to be teaching the standards. Now, as you're teaching standards, sometimes you have curriculum that you can use as a resource, but remember, you are the number one resource. So even if you're using the curriculum as a resource, it's not just black and white, just like the curriculum. Spice it up, add your own unique hook, right? Practice your storytelling techniques and add different anecdotes that you can use to hook students throughout the lesson and to keep them engaged and to keep them interested, and incorporate some sort of games that you can use that you will be able that you can still get all the information out, but students will be able to become more excited because they're more interested and engaged because of it. And there's so many other things like incorporating music if you're the type of person that likes music. So for me, last one, I know I said that was the last one, but this is the last one. It just hit me. For me, anytime I'm doing a lesson and if we have to get up and move around and transition, I play music during the transition. Like you have 30 seconds to go to the next, 30 seconds to meet your table partner, to meet your partner, go. And I'll just press play on my Bluetooth speakers in 30 seconds. Why? Because I love music. And it's always Afro beats. We're in there vibing. You know what I'm saying? But some people, they just say silently move from here to there. Not saying there's anything wrong with that. That's your vibe in your classroom. But what I'm saying is 2 different classrooms. We got the same exact thing accomplished. They were able to get to the discussion. We just danced along the way, right? Because that is who it is. All right. Darla, so glad that these are helpful. You always need time to learn. And for some of us that are on the call, we're brand new teachers. Some of us, we've been here for a while, but at the end of the day, it still remains the same, where curriculum is a resource. All right. You are also the number one resource. How can you continue to teach the curriculum so that to help support the standards while sprinkling your own razzle dazzle in there? Just get creative. Don't be afraid to shine. My biggest thing with teachers is making them, helping them to leverage their uniqueness to make the impact that only you can make. Right. And speaking of impact, remember that if this was valuable, if this was helpful, if this was interesting, imagine what you can do if you had access to the full course library. This is just one piece of one course on how to create engaging lessons. And there are dozens of courses on the Impact platform. Impact features courses, coaching, and a community where we can have conversations with Mitchell, with Audrey, with Darla, where we can have conversations back and forth to help support you on your educational journey. So if it's something that is interesting to you, in the description down below, you'll be able to find how to access Impact. And it's super interesting because what lots of people do is they'll have a course and sell course by course by course. But we were able to understand educators and be innovative enough to give you access to the entire course library, as well as the community, and have access to coaching for just one low price of $13 a month, and hassle-free cancellation. So it's $13 for the month that you decide to use it. If you don't use it, you won't have to have the subscription for that month. Simple as that. So Impact is super helpful. Mitchell, I hope the link is in the description. He asked for the link. If not, it's at impactcourses.com. And I could actually type it here, but I hope it's in the description. Impactcourses.com is where you will be able to find it. And you could actually get started for free by looking at the number one course, which is the course on classroom management. It's called Classroom Management Made Simple. You can get that entire 14 lesson course for free to try it out. And if that suits your fancy, then on the inside, you'll see the courses like this. So this one that I just gave you a little bit of piece of, this is the next course launching. A new course launches every single month. And the course on how to create behind lesson planning and how to create lessons that are effective and engaging lessons is actually launching at the end of this month. So super excited about that. It'll be brand new, the featured course. But right now you can see Classroom Management Made Simple completely for free at impactcourses.com. Super glad that you've been with us here tonight. And again, remember, curriculum is a resource, right? Even if they say to use it with fidelity, even if they say stay on pace, I'm not saying to ignore your administrators. I'm saying you can still spice it up and have a great time. All right. Thank you for joining us here tonight for New Teacher Big Impact Tip of the Week. I'm thinking about going with that name. We'll see how it goes because it used to be just New Teacher Big Impact Live, but I think I like the New Teacher Big Impact Tip of the Week. So we'll see how it goes. I'll catch you next Tuesday. Thank you for being here. And check out the link below to check out Impact. Hope you enjoy it.